today we're going to work in our groups and we're going to look at some primary sources. And I want you to think about what these pictures might show, but also keep in mind that about families and change, okay? Keep those two words, families and change. Can we keep those two words in our head today?
Yes.
Okay. I want to model what you might do today. Remember, we started looking at primary sources with my family, right? You know about my family a lot now, don't you? From looking at old photos.
Yeah.
So let's look at a picture right now. I'm going to tell you the source. It's a photo of my family, part of my family. So let's look at that right now, and let's practice what you would do in a group. When you're observing, when you're thinking about a primary source, remember you're talking about what you see, what you think you know, and then
What do you want to find out?
what do you want to find out? Right. So let's look at this photo. Okay. Raise your hand and tell me some things you see. What do you observe?
I do not see
Somebody with a clipboard and some paper,
Somebody, you think this is a clipboard and paper?
and
Okay.
it has goggles on.
Goggles on? Yeah, it could be
I
goggles.
see that they're in a house or apartment 291.
And the address is 291. Okay.
I see 3 people.
3 people. I love how you're being so general. You're not even guessing who those people are yet. You're just saying, I see 3 people. I see an address, 291. It could be a house or it could be an apartment. We don't know for sure because we don't have the whole picture, right? That's what historians do. You're not quite making your guesses yet.
So this could be apartment because there's like an elevator back there.
Is this the elevator you think?
Door.
That's actually a doorway.
Good.
It's a little dark, but I like what you're thinking. It could be an apartment because you think there's an elevator.
Lucas,
Okay.
since your family has 4 people, your general family,
Mhm.
sister, your mom, dad, and you.
Mhm.
Since another picture that you showed us earlier in the year, I know that the one most to the right is you.
You know this is me.
Yeah.
Can we all agree that's me?
Yeah.
A long time ago? Yes.
And
What else?
probably the one in the middle is your dad, the one on the left is your mom, and your sister's probably taking a picture.
Okay, so you think there's somebody taking a picture. I love that. So what questions do you have that you'd like to find out about this? What questions do you have? Jason,
Where is that?
where is that place? Perfect question. Where is that place? Ezra, what questions do you have?
What house is it?
What house is it? Excellent. Liam,
How many stories are there?
how many stories are there? Okay. Milan?
Why do your mom have cuts on her legs?
Does my mom have cuts on her legs? Those are cuts? Interesting. All right, I'm going to stop right there because I want to let you guys get started. Today, when you look at your primary sources with your group, I want you to be like that. I want you to be thinking about that. Last thing before you get started, because I want to let you get started, okay? Why do we have you work in a group? Why do we have you work in a group? What is the important thing about you guys huddling together to look at these sources? Jessica, why?
To learn how to work as a group together and try to figure out more ideas with your group.
With your group.
You can find out more ideas with helping your other group and they help you.
Right. So you, as you're talking back and forth, you might say, oh yeah, I bet that is that thing. And you could write down, if Ezra has a really great idea, you could write down his idea, right? It's about sharing the ideas and talking about it. Is it about the perfect spelling on the paper?
No.
Is it about the conversations you're having?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's what I want you to do. Are you ready to get started?
Yes.
I'm going to show you 3 images. You're going to have very different images, okay? So let's get started. In your groups, you have one image, and I'm not going to show it to you, but it's in a folder like this. You don't take it out of this pocket, please. Leave it in. And you each have your own thinking with primary sources. So do you all write? Yes. Can you write the same exact thing?
Yes.
Yeah. If you have the same ideas, you write it. Okay? So, I'm going to give these out, and you can get started with your group.
Can you spell neighbors?
That will go over here. Okay, so what do you see?
How do you spell Mabel?
White. Your best spelling is fine with me. Is this a question? Is he mad? That would go in what do you want to find out. Is he mad? He does look a little mad, you're right. So this, what do you see here, Spencer? Tell me just some of the things you see in this picture. What are some of the things you see? A shirt, and who is it? No, what do you see? Is it a boy or a girl? Is it a man? It's a boy. Is it today? Or is it black and white photo? Is it a photo? Or is this a painting? Is it a photo? Is it a map? Okay, and where is he? Do you think he's in school? Wow, look at that fancy, look at that fringe and stuff. Is that a school, do you think? So what do you see about this?
It looks like your turtlegraph.
It looks like my turtle grandma. So is that what you observe, or is that what you think you know? Okay.
What did you think? I think that's his grandfather.
Okay. You like, what did you say? Is this an art chair? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
It's kind of a fancy chair, right? Is this, tell me about who this person is. What do you see? Is it a boy or a girl?
Girl.
So girl, do you have that, and what do you observe? A girl? Is she wearing a suit? Is she wearing clothes? Is she wearing a dress? Okay. What do you think you know? Is this today?
I think.
Jordan, can I have you tilt your chair up so I can get the carpet so people won't trip? Thanks.
Thank you.
There you go.
So, just take the email away.
Nicholas, can I hear what you're saying?
Oh.
Okay, you're writing your idea down? So you guys have a little smaller picture, right? Other people have a portrait, but you have two people in your picture, correct? So what do you think you know about this?
Snowy photograph with a tree. Oh, thank you. No, I already have with a tree and someone on a sled by a house and it's black and white.
Okay, so that's all a lot of, and you just did a list. Snow, tree, house. A list is fine too, and you think it's old-fashioned.
I just did.
So what do you think you know about
It's
this?
black and white.
Is it summer?
What do you think? Why don't you? What do you think you know?
Is it summer? Why do you think it's old-fashioned, Charlie?
Because it's black and white.
Do you can have black and white photos now?
I still print black and white pictures. I have a printer that does that. You can make either one you want.
So that's interesting, right? So you think it's long ago.
And there's a wooden house.
A wooden house, so that looks like it's old. Okay. Question of what you want to know about this. Think of a question of what you want to know about this picture, this photograph. And just put one question down of what you want to know.
Where did he come from?
I love that. What is it about?
Do you
That's
wanna
your
know?
question?
Right.
What's your question for this picture?
Right here. What
Oh,
do
so
you
that's
want to
old
find out,
fancy boy?
Jason, about this
Interesting.
picture?
All right.
What is
Okay.
it?
So what do you want to know about that? Connor, what do you want to know about this person? Interesting. Wait till you find out who this person is. I think you're going to be shocked. All right.
I know, but
Scholars, I'm going to give you your next primary source. They're all different, and they are going to be very interesting, and they might tell you all a little bit more about these portraits that you have. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is this?
Well, let's see. What do you see? What do you
No, you flip it
Okay,
over.
what's the first part? What does it say? What do you observe?
Flip over, right?
I'm saving those. Interesting.
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, you can flip it over. Oh, we have a new
It
page.
is this dirty blonde.
It's what?
Dirty blonde.
You mean, what do you mean? The color? Okay, that's what you observe. So you observe the color.
Lines.
Lines?
Yeah.
All right. I
What
heard
does it
somebody
sound
over
like?
here say
L-I.
adopted, so you know
I
adopted by
sound it
the
out.
way.
Line.
And
Just try your best to spell it, okay? Lines.
Oh, you're trying to interview.
yes.
Perfect. I love it. Can we share that?
L-I-N-E-S.
But first,
I
what
don't know
you
what to
observe.
put on there.
What do you observe? Even though we don't know what it is, we can still talk about what we see.
We have 45 in our room. The other day, I took a machine pan and filled it with water. Then I put it on the stove. I waited a little while, and the water came squirting out of the top,
I
about
know.
a foot. The water in the river was
I
up in the
know
cracks
exactly
of
what
a factory,
it is.
about half a foot. There is a good deal of water on the island. The old cat is dead. Your son Orville.
Orville.
So what are you thinking now?
Can't read.
What are you thinking now, Charlie? You said Orville.
From Orville Wright.
So you think you know that it's from Orville Wright?
Yeah.
So is that something you observe for sure? Does it say this letter is from Orville Wright? Or are you thinking you think it's from there?
It is. I think it is from. Maybe
Is that the only person in the world named Orville?
No. Maybe. I have some background knowledge that Orville Wright did this experiment.
Where do you have that background knowledge from?
From a secondary source.
Which is
The book we're reading.
our chapter book?
Yeah.
Interesting. So you're bringing in some background knowledge about that. So how are you going to show that knowledge? You guys are having a great conversation here. How are you going to document that so when we share it with the rest of the class, you could tell them that?
That's a bite.
Won't to flapping because they wish they have a greater spread, greater wing spread. So it's about hawks. A damp day is no bird soars in a cabin. I don't know what that means. So this is paper and words, and they're writing about birds. So what are you thinking? Why would people write about birds?
Because I think they're interested in them.
You think they're interested in birds? Why would somebody be interested so much in birds that they're writing about comparing hawks and buzzards? Tell me more.
Or Wilbur Wright.
Why?
Because they want to fly and they're studying birds and figuring out like how they fly themselves.
So this group, the journal group. Oh, you have a journal, right? Jason. So did you hear what Liam said? What did he say? He thinks that this might be by.
From that book that we're reading, at the read aloud, maybe we're getting some facts about that read aloud, and we're bringing it into this.
Really? So you're making a connection from our read aloud to this?
Yeah,
So
because
who's our read aloud about?
Overall, right?
Okay, it's time to come back to the rug. Okay? I'm going to just share those two. So here's what I would like you to do. Write up any questions, and then I need you to sit with your group with your pictures out. Okay? So sit with your group and display them on the perimeter. And we know the Kandinsky group, you're going to be on the edge of the perimeter here, correct? So turn yours around. All right. So raise your hand and tell me some things you noticed.
There's only lines.
There's only lines. What do you think that is?
Well, I thought it was maybe a sketch or a painting by an artist.
Okay.
I think that's a design
A design.
by somebody like the Wright brothers or Leonardo da Vinci.
Okay, so you just said the Wright brothers. Raise your hand in your group if you talked about the Wright brothers in your group. Look around. Look at how many groups talked about the Wright brothers. Interesting. I'm gonna. What do you see there? The Wright flying machine. I'm going to show you this one. This is one of my favorites. Actually, that is a what, Charlie?
Kite.
A kite. What do we know about
That's
kites?
the kite that Orville did.
Who was good at making kites?
Orville.
Orville. And
And the other one is not good at making them.
And that's one like
that is also a kite.
That's a giant one. That's a giant
You see, it looks like a plane, but it's actually a kite. Now, here you go. Here is actually a plane flying.
That's the one called the plane.
Right.
Here is another picture of it. And here is the last picture. If you look very closely, you can see a crash. A crash in the sand. So, with those added images, who would like to corroborate or make it a guess? Yes.
Go to the first picture.
The first photograph, you mean? Okay.
You see how it says O and W, right? I think that stands for Oliver and Orville, right?
You mean Orville?
I mean Orville and Orville, right?
So you're really using the initials to get that more information out? Excellent. So, you are right. All of these pictures had to do with the Wright brothers. But what I wanted you to think about, and this house, this is 7 Dayton, Ohio.
Oh, this is the Wright brothers' house.
So, I want you to look,
This is the Wright brothers' house.
and I want you to look at this. This is their family. Do you see the kids?
No. Yes.
Let's just look. I have a website I want to show you.
I see the kids. I know.
This is right from the Library of Congress. And I wanted to scroll down and see if you can figure out who had that picture. That is young Orville when he was 8 years old. So that is what he looked like when he's, how many of you are 8? How many of you think you might grow up one day to invent something like the Wright brothers? Because all people, this is my teaching point for you today. All people, are you ready? I want everyone hooked in because this is the teaching point. All people who make a difference in our world start out just like you. In families, with parents, with houses, with interests, taking notes about watching birds fly. So, think about a family tree for Wilbur and Orville. We have Wilbur and Orville, and we have their parents, and we know about them, and we also know about Wilbur's mom's dad, and he was a builder of carriages. So in their family, what is something that they all were good at? The grandparents, the mother, and the children. What were they good at, Jason?
Building.
They were good at building things. So maybe in your family, because you might grow up to be one of these people who makes a difference like that, maybe in your family someday, you might be able to use your skills in your family, your good talents in your family, and you might be able to use that to do something. What do you think?